Alrighty, welcome to Edleedskalnin's workshop. This is Roy back again. Today we are at Coral Castle and we're going to look for signs of stuff. This here is a tribute from Ed to Stonehenge. That's what they say here. Kind of looks like Stonehenge. So one thing I want you guys to notice that any coral you see that's rough and rugged, like this stuff, is from this location. But anything you see with lines in it, you see the lines, guys? See the lines? Anything you see with lines is from his old location. Okay, that's what the guy just said over here. And interesting stuff. So it took him 2 years to move, according to them, to move all his sculptures from his other location. Stuff like this. Stuff like this. Like this. There's a lot of chairs. So he sold these chairs and made these chairs.
We do see it go around those four quarters throughout the city.
That's the rock shaped like the state of Florida. Beautiful old tree, beautiful hanging basket that's 35 years old. Isn't that crazy, that basket? Let's go back here. You can see all this stuff here. The sculptures has lines in it. So that was from what he did back at his old place. Look how big this one section is. There's no way he's lifting this up with a tripod, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. Scott, I love you. There's no freaking way that this whole section here. Now, did it come from the ground underneath it and be flipped up? I don't know. Back to this section. Look at this guy. This section is, he ain't lifting this up with a tripod, guys. The center section's got to be 12 feet by 12 feet, about 3 feet thick. Each section on the sides probably 5 feet this way, probably, Jesus, 12 feet tall, and thickness, oh shit, that's 1, 2, 3 feet wide. So this whole thing here is in 3 sections, and then you got this corner piece, and notice this is the rough rugged stuff. So this is the stuff he did here, so we know that. And the stuff, anything you see that's going to have those lines are going to be from the old place. I want you to peek over this corner. The edge of this rock here, right there, is carved out in the side here of the same thing that's on the doorway. Okay, guys? It's the same thing on the doorway. I'm gonna go over here.
They charge you a fee like $50 or $75 to do a photo.
Never how that has money.
Maybe if you talk to the manager.
I want to find out.
Same thing as on the doorway. The lines down to the bottom. Now, could it be any directional for any hidden writings? Take a look at this chair. They're using that one and the other one behind it to hold up this obelisk here. And from the looks of it, this stone and the obelisk stone has no lines in it. Can you see that right there, the crosshairs? Pretty cool stuff, huh? Okay guys, we know I didn't make the pond, but it feels good down here. It's about 89 degrees. Feeling good. So look at this rock though. It's one thing on, and this right here. Okay, so what is this? You guys got questions? Make questions out there. What is this? All right, to me, you got three major stones. And when you look at these stones, by the way, this big one here in the center has got a hole drilled through it. You could actually, I'm gonna bring you closer to it. You can see people through it on the other side. Let's see, can you see it? So you got a hole drilled right through that big giant slab. So look here. Now if I look at this, to me it looks like that rock is floating and he's showing direction upward. Okay, he's showing direction upward. Now if anybody else want to comment what we're looking at here, why the hell would I put these three big humongous pieces of massive, now that center one's massive. How the heck did that guy move that rock? You still see the same grooves where all these, the iron that I'm going to show you inside the workshop, he drove those in the inside of them and he used like a spring action to pop them. But even when you do that, if you look at the bottom of these, I bet he was using some type of acid or something and maybe using the wheel and throwing some electric into like water, because the water table is down. I'll show you when we get to the well how deep the water table is here. Look down the well, that's the level of the water is the table. So that's going to determine whether or not he has a basement underneath his workshop. Not determined, because one of my last videos I actually poured water underneath his motor. In the beginning the water didn't dissipate, so I figured nothing was there. But after it soaked in, I poured more water in it and it just fell down. So that there's something hollow underneath the wheel. So going back to these structures here, you do see a big boulder. That thing's about 3 foot tall, about 6 feet wide, and about the same width as the slab and everything underneath it. So right there is saying something to me. I'm here, I'm feeling it. That right there is saying rocks float. The top, it looks like it could be holding up the rock, sort of like in a magnetic way, or this could be something to where he's lifting the rock and showing the way, the direction to change the poles. I mean, however you could change the poles, and I've been trying all different directions. So far, I'm not good with this, or just haven't found it yet. Now remember, Edison, 1,000 light bulbs he made before it stayed working. Edleedskalnin, if you did levitate some rocks, I'm gonna find out. I am gonna find out. So here we are. We're gonna take a little walk around. Now that section I never really came back through before. That's crazy. Now if you look at that little angle on the top, let me see if I can take you in there. That's going to look through the telescope. Now that's looking through Ed's telescope. You can see the crosshairs. Looking through the crosshairs. I don't think you're allowed to film here, so I'm going to mosey on. This is the back part of the I believe that one there is it's the round one, so that might be like Venus or something. So you can see it's still the new rock here from this location, so we know he made this one here. Okay, we know that all this wall here is made at this location, but this is the back here. So that's the back of Saturn. The back is square, comes straight down. It's definitely no lines in that coral, so that coral's from here. This here is the one that's, what did I tell you guys about that sun? Some about that baby, we're gonna find out. Some about you, we're gonna find out. about you, they're gonna find out. You're more than heat, and more than positive energy. So the front of that, I guess, is the moon, because it's round in the front, square in the back. You look, all the coral here is still that spongy look, so that's from this location. But now you get to this crescent moon, that's got lines in it. Look at the lines going up it. Okay, you can look up there, you can see the lines. Now, you know that's from his old location, so he brought that. You see, he put a couple big chairs here and sat them behind it to sturdy it up. And then he has stuff in the front of it to sturdy it up. And look at the top of that. That's what I was saying about Coral Castle. This coral actually is so brittle that every time it rains, because rain is acid rain, it doesn't have any minerals in it until it touches the ground. It's starting to erode the top there. So shit's falling down. That's one of the crescents. Let's see, this crescent here is, this crescent here is from this location. You can see it. Hello, Mr. Sun. You're showing your face over Coral Castle today, aren't you? Now we're over here, and there don't look like there's anything hollow around any of the base in this entrance here. This is his old entrance he had, where obviously it's not the main entrance, because the ring the bells on the other side will get there. But that's where the university went ahead and dropped that and changed it out. Now it don't even turn, so they really screwed it up. Sent a bunch of kids in there. What do you expect? So anyway, so that's the door that doesn't turn more, but used to turn. Pretty cool. And that's all rock from this location. Now you can see this right here is got lines in it. So that's old location. This one got lines in it. That's the star in the front. That's old location. This rock here is all old location. Look at the rock itself. You can see here Ed working at night out here in his, these are the covered up, Army Corps engineers came out here and covered up a couple of the quarry areas. See, one's there, they left. A couple were out there. So Ed would sit in here and he'd peek. And he would peek through here and see who's in his place. If he thought he had lookouts, obviously he had one on the other side. We've seen that one. There's one there. Okay, and this is old stone. That's the big obelisk. Okay, used to have a weather vane up top. This is all old section. Okay, you see, he put stone in there. All the way up to here, it starts new again. You can see the slits in there. You can see his whole quarry section. You see, he just cut this and lifted this right up there. All along here. You can see he had quarried. You see the lines. He quarried this, and all he did was tilt it up and tilt it up, tilt it up, tilt it up. Pretty smart of him. This is the back of this living area. This is part of the, this is the quarry. You can see in detail that he made trenches around his cuts. And back to the spring on the side, he would use a Ford Model T spring. He put it on the side of the trench, and he would get in front of it. He started over there. I believe there's a basement. You can see how deep this is behind his living quarters and workshop. Probably 3 feet deep here. So everything you see at 3 feet, which is most of his big boulders, all came from areas. So, you know, he could have, in that first area, he could have just, I guess, I don't know how he didn't pull a tripod over, but I guess he could have taken it right out of the ground and flipped it up like here, and he could have just stood it up. I guess that's what I would have done. You can look and see that all this rock here is the spongy kind. So it's the kind that is fresh from this quarry and not from Edleedskalnin's old location. Obelisk is real tall. So behind here is where he has, you know,